Hello, welcome back to the Realtor Review presented by BaileysMoving Storage. As always, I'm Jake, and this month we're going to be talking about peak season, trends that we're seeing right now, and advice for you as your clients try to deal with a difficult moving situation. All right, so with that, what that means is let's talk about some of the ebbs and flows that's going on right now. So from an insider perspective, someone inside the moving industry, let me tell you what I'm seeing currently across the nation. For most markets, but especially here in the Rocky Mountain region, we've got a situation where even before peak season and currently through it, we're seeing weeks that are really strong, got a lot of people coming in and asking for moves, and then we see some weeks that kind of peter off, and then it comes back. It's become very, very unpredictable, which just means that availability continues to be constrained. So the first off, my advice for you with your clients who are going to be looking for moving services, and whether that's a moving company, portable storage, a rental truck, no matter what the case might be, it's going to be a longer time window than they might expect. So my advice would be this: as you begin shopping with customers for homes, well before they even actually get into that one, that is the time to start getting moving services figured out. Start getting quotes, start talking to the movers, start getting an idea of what you can afford, what they can feasibly get into, which companies have which kind of availability. Because if you can get that squared away before closing on a home contract, then it's going to be so much better for your customer. And most movers will do that as an example. If your customer can get in front of the mover and say, hey, this is where I'm moving from, there's my address, but I don't yet know the destination. I think it's going to be this zip code. Most movers can give you a pretty good idea of availability and a pretty good quote with just that information. So get them over to whatever solution they're going to be using for moving as soon as possible, because availability, again, is tight. And a lot of that, as we've talked about in previous Realtor reviews, just comes down to labor shortages. And labor shortages are acute everywhere. I mean, in all of our markets. We got Grand Junction, Salt Lake, Colorado Springs. Labor is difficult to come by anywhere, but in Denver, it is particularly acute. And that seems to be anybody I've talked to here in transportation, in food service, in retail. Everybody is struggling to find labor. And so with that being the case, Denver's kind of an outlier in that way. Where availability is so constrained that there are many moving companies that are months out in being able to service anything, especially if it's an interstate move. But it's also interesting, one of the things we're seeing that we haven't seen a lot of previously is we are seeing a lot of inbound back into the Rocky Mountain regions, especially in Colorado, but also in Utah. We're seeing a lot of people that we moved out a year or less ago who are beginning to move back into this market. We have more than one story of customers calling us back and saying, hey, I had a remote job. They said I could work remote forever. And now they've called and said, I got to be back in the office. So I need to get moved back. All of these kinds of factors are putting a lot of constraint on the availability that movers, especially in the Denver area, but anywhere in the nation, will have. And there's a lot of potential reasons why, but I'm also curious on your perspective as a realtor on kind of what the future might be, because here in the industry, we've talked a lot about the mortgage rates and how it affects what we do. We are on probably a 30 to 45 day lag in demand behind what you see typically on the front lines. But that being the case, we know mortgage rates have a lot to do with how willing people are to move. So, you know, we haven't seen this as much in the past as we're seeing this right now, where we've got a federal funds rate moving up and mortgage rates, they were moving up for a while and then they began to come back down. Like from that period of end of June to July, we saw mortgage rates go back down. We saw demand pick back up for some moving. Very interesting situation. Is that going to continue in your opinion? What do you think the future might look like as federal funds continues to go up that rate? The Fed says they'll continue to raise it through the rest of the year. What do you think mortgage rates will do? Would love to hear from you in the comments on that. And speaking of comments, please, as a reminder, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have a lot of great videos that are aimed at helping you and your clients get prepared for moves. So please subscribe and hit that bell for notifications anytime we post a new video. We got a lot of great content that is engineered to help you and your clients get as prepared as possible for any move experience. On that note as well, if you would be interested in coming on the Realtor Review and giving us your perspective on kind of what you're seeing, we'd love to have you. Drop us a note in the comments or reach out to us in any other way, and we'd be happy to bring you on. And as always, hope you enjoyed this Realtor Review. Please subscribe and watch for next month as we keep you in the know.